Hello there YouTubers, here is my rundown on what's going on and what we could do to save ourselves. I'd like to start with a couple of quotes with high relevance. Nations around the globe have pledged to increase their forest cover by planting millions of trees, but new research shows much of this growth would be in monocultural plantations that would be quickly cut down and do little to tackle climate change or preserve biodiversity. Experts agree reforesting our planet is one of the greatest ecological challenges of the 21st century. It is essential to meeting climate targets, the only route of heading off the extinction crisis, and almost certainly the best way of maintaining the planet's rainfall. It could also boost the livelihoods of hundreds of millions of inhabitants of former forest lands. Fred Pearce. Then we have a quote from Sir David Attenborough. Forests have struggled to bounce back from us. Nothing takes down trees faster than us. We are clearing 10 billion trees per year. Many of our ancient forests are gone, where the variety of life was most abundant and diverse. We have also lost the forest's guardians, the predators, who help ensure that plant eaters can't stop the forest's return. Basically, humans have killed too much and destroyed too much. Sir David Attenborough. However, where there is water, life will always find a way. If it's around the edge of water with no rain, it will grow. If it has rain, it will grow. Anywhere, just look at Chennai. Even with high radiation, nature has retaken the city in just a few decades with zero human interference. So where else on the Earth could we restore nature with minimum human input? Well, we already have several plans to use our deserts to help humanity in the form of solar and wind arrays. However, capturing energy is not capturing carbon. The only true things that capture carbon in life in any way, in any form, is the smallest to the largest bacterium to mammal. We are all storing carbon. A tree is carbon, plants are carbon. When they die, they compost and the carbon returns to the earth where it should be, ready to be used for the next life form. So the only true way to capture carbon is to grow, and we need to grow in a far larger scale than we are currently at, with China leading the way, restoring their own deserts with intense human labour. Nice before and after there. The world is seeing just how fast nature really grows back. Thank you, China. Although they have spent over £100 billion on reforestation, they are struggling with biodiversity, which is a big problem for wildlife. The world is trying its best, but it needs help, big help. The efforts we do today really is prolonging the climate change. Nowhere near enough is being done to curb the loss of farmable land, the loss of drinkable water, the loss of diverse species. What we need is 8 million kilometres squared of new forests, new evolving species, new rivers, new lakes, and be left alone with no human interactions. There is a desert called the Sahara. It is 9.2 million kilometres squared. It is almost entirely unpopulated and nothing grows for thousands of miles. Why? Well, there is just no water there. There is no rainfall, no rivers, no streams. You need water to create life. Where there is water, there is life. It really don't matter what the water looks like, smells like, tastes like. Life will always find a way. So imagine if there was rainfall in the Sahara Desert. Things will grow in fast, exciting and unpredictable ways. Green. We could see formations of new meadows, marshes, freshwater lakes and forests. All of these things will suck up carbon for us and trap it. If only there was a realistic way to get water out and about to the whole region in one go. Within a decade, 8 million square kilometres of desert is now soaking up enough carbon for us to stave off extinction. But how would it work, you ask? Well, we already have the technology. In fact, we've had it for thousands of years. And of course, it is the simple water pump. Okay, maybe not as old as this one. To truly terraform a desert on such a large scale, it would be far from a simple pump. A more modern system, perhaps like this one. But then that's all we need. It's just water pump and fire hose. Haha, you say fire hose. Well, they're extremely durable. Pumping out water into the desert would restore nature there without any human interaction. It would be as simple as sprinklers for your lawn, the effects of which would be almost immediately visible from space. As seawater evaporates and then rains as clean, fresh top water to flow and collect in fresh new lakes, creating new life, trapping carbon, the more we allow to grow, the more carbon is removed. Now my idea is simple. What it would take is a long fire hose that can withstand huge pressure, can unroll itself to the desired length. So the water goes in, and as the water gets pushed this way, it pulls more out from the reel, and you can keep adding more and more reels until you have the desired length, hundreds and hundreds of miles into the desert. Placing a riveted hole every 100 meters that would allow a jet of water constantly flowing from each hole. But more importantly, we're filtering the plastics safely from our ocean at huge pumping stations. This pumped water is pumped back into the sea, clean from human waste, which in itself is amazing. Thanks to the hard work of Boyan Slat of Ocean Cleanup. Boyan, this chap here, absolute legend. Whatever he's what hard work he's been doing is amazing. There is a link in the description if you want to help support his work. Thanks to people like him, pictures like these will be a thing of the past. Here you have a nice beach full of rubbish. Here you have a nice little creek full of plastic rubbish. But we don't want to see that. This pumped water is pumped back to the sea clean from waste. While I would pump water straight from these clean facilities into the desert, with all the algae, microbes and other building blocks for life contained therein. Out into the lifeless desert for thousands of kilometres, yes, thousands of kilometres of fire hose. Sprinklers sounds expensive, and you would be correct, it is a lot of fire hose. Around $500,000 worth of fire hose per hose. Have to ask yourself, how much are we willing to spend to save our world? Technology geniuses like Elon Musk are investing hundreds of millions into research and development to solve this very crisis. For 100 million you can have an awful lot of fire hose and several brand new filtering pumping stations, which alone will grow and absorb so much carbon that if we just heal our world will heal us. Here is how it would roughly look. Of course, a more geologically sound line would be the reality, avoiding mountains and other hazards. But just for now, bear with my crude drawing attempts. Almost immediately after deployment you will see life growing, but with nature, who knows what that will choose. Water will evaporate on a large scale, and soon there will be so much humidity in the air that it will rain fresh water miles and miles away from where our pipelines creating carbon catching life. Most likely this rain will be over the mountains, where the higher altitude will help the rain condense and fall, relighting century dry rivers and streams. The purple lines here. Ultimately, the new rivers and streams serve many humans downstream and also form new freshwater lakes. Add in the lakes. As we know, we need as many new water sources as we can, so all this freshwater free is a bonus. Then where you have new lakes, you get new life, not just trees but fish, birds and the ugly ones. Sorry there, my insect friend. So by this stage, I hope you see where we are going. We're going green. Let's add some more green around our new lakes and rivers. Here you go, and some more green added. Also, as we well know, it just doesn't rain in mountains, it rains where it rains. Any smaller amount of rainfall is enough to start life. So with all these new water systems in place and the area cooling down, I would expect to see it raining everywhere, at least some of the time. So let's update our map, adding some new weather systems, moving water from where we placed it to where they want it to be. So with so much unusable land and water recovered and plastics removed, we may well be able to stave off the famine and thirst for centuries more. And the less we involve ourselves with nature, the more nature can evolve into new species of all creations, replacing some of our now extinct species with new ones eventually. And what greater accomplishment than turning a desert into a forest could humans really make? There is also more than one desert in our world. Imagine if we fixed them all. Some may say life don't like living in salt or like salty conditions. But like salt marshes, which many areas will be affected by this, there are many crops that grow in salt land. For example, barley, spinach, asparagus and beetroot, and even cotton have high tolerances to salty environments, as well as many aquatic life forms. All they need is water, any water, and life will find a way. I hope you liked my presentation, guys. Please remember, if you like it, to make a comment down below. I will reply to as many as I can. Help show your interest by hitting the like and subscribe buttons. And stay safe out there. You are much loved.